all things heroes and heroes reborn related items. I am Lilith, and on the hunt specials / evils. With me, as always, is one of them.
It's me, Ricky, and today I have toasted marshmallow vape flavor stick thing, not Earl Grey.
Anyway, up for discussion today is episode 412, Upon This Rock. Yeah, nothing to it but to do it, so let's just jump right in. The original air date was January 4th, 2010. It was written by Juan Carlos Cotto, and it was directed by Ron Underwood.
So, Claire searches for answers as she is suspicious of Samuel's true motives. Samuel seeks out Emma in hopes she can help him find someone. Hero seeks out Ando for his assistance in a new mission, but has trouble communicating his intentions. That is a lot of seeking out of people, isn't it?
Yep. Where do you want to start?
So I've got 5 pieces of things on my notes, and only 2 of them have any real kind of substance to it. So we'll break down the little things first. We get like a slight backstory to Samuel and Joseph in this one, where it kind of goes back into the past, and we see 2 little Irish tinkers talking to each other with better accents than season 2. So, you know, there's that. We have Hero. He's all messed up because of Carney Haitian Damien, and he can't talk properly. He's just like his brain's all like mushed or something like that, so he's talking in like riddles or like popular culture references to like heroes, but you know he's trying to say something. It's just in some weird kind of code. And suppose we might as well mention that there's a slight well, there's not a slight, but there's actually a funeral of one of the main characters. We kind of had one before in Sylar, but that wasn't really Sylar. So this one's Nathan.
That's not really Nathan at this point.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just Nathan's funeral. He gets like a nice little American hero funeral. We see Peter essentially says that, you know, he saw Nathan as a father figure, which I think says kind of everything. And a little tidbit is that basically it seems like Nathan has died in the finale of every season up to this point. So you get like the end of season 1 where, you know, you don't think he's died, but at the same time you can kind of see how he would have died, bringing his brother up into the air. He gets shot at the end of season 2, and he literally gets his throat sliced at the end of season 3. So yeah, at least we don't have to look forward to that in the end of season 4. So yes.
I would have took that over what we got.
Oh man. Okay, so what do you want to talk about first? Because basically both my lists have got concerned Samuel, so it's up to you if you want to talk about Emma or Claire in regards to them.
I mean, Samuel was running through this whole episode with everybody that we talk about, so it doesn't really matter.
We'll start off with Emma, because that one's a bit shorter. So he ends up going to Emma, and he needs help to try and find someone, and for some reason he can explain her power like to a T, and I think
he's got them files.
Oh no, yeah, it's true actually. Yeah, he's got them files. Yeah.
Our files. We need them back.
So yeah, it's just really, I don't know if it's cool, but you know, his seductive skills, you know, they're still strong, because he explains to Emma how her power works and kind of, you know, tells her that, you know, he just needs help, and you know, she kind of does help him at the end of the day. But I don't know whether that's because, you know, obviously she's kind of disheartened at the beginning of the episode because she gets rejected by like medical school or whatnot. But just like with Peter before, Samuel's there at kind of the right time to kind of seduce her into doing his will. But you know, it's Samuel. He's got a way with words, does he not?
Yeah, definitely. But I think it has more to do with Robert Knepper than the actual writer.
Yeah, definitely.
No offense.
But yeah, we get the explanation of the extra powers that she has, because at the moment we know she has like 3 kind of different powers. She has the ability to see everything as colour,
stupid,
the concussive force, which
cool,
which kind of plays a bit late. You know, they don't really play it up until like near the end, and the siren song, which, you know, you kind of see hints about like near the beginning, like whenever she's playing there's always a crowd around her. So yeah, I kind of like that. So what did you think about the whole Samuel and Emma narrative.
She's a Peter Dodo clone, so I knew she was gonna fall for the okey doke. But I mean, all credit to Samuel. He is a very good Colt. He is very good at getting people to do what he wants. But at the same time, I feel like he actually genuinely cares, especially about the guy that he's basically asking Emma to help him find.
Yeah, but I kind of believe you at this point because at the moment we know what he's kind of building towards. I don't know if he cares about the guy. I just think that he is a person who will always see that kind of what's in it for him, but he does it in such a way. Yeah, he is. But he does it in such a way that it makes you feel like you're part of the family because he's able to like get this guy pretty much straight away to join him. You know, he just says a couple of words and the guy's putty in his hands. So yeah.
Well, I don't think it was just that, though. It was like he thought he was crazy and that he was alone. And when he sees that there are people out there like him and he can actually have a home where people understand him and won't treat him like a freak, I think that has everything to do with it and not just, Samuel.
Yeah. Yeah. So we might as well go on to Claire and Samuel because that's the other main big part of the episode, I believe.
And Lydia is scheming to get Claire to see the truth so she can shut this whole thing down.
So she
sends her off with the blueberries, first of all. Blueberry waffle.
I know, right? No, it's pancakes, because I remember thinking, because I remember hearing them say pancakes, and I was like, what? There must be a new writer's room, because they don't like pancakes. They're like waffles.
Yeah, right. They're blueberry pancakes. I just assumed they were waffles, and it was a misquote.
So, we start off the episode with Claire, basically, and she's still at the carnival, and she's basically been put to work on what is later called beautification, I believe, which I think's, a nice way of saying clean-up crew. And she's been watched by Eli at this point, but she's also very suspicious of Samuel. And, oh no, I like their kind of interaction, because it kind of feels a bit like HRG and Claire, that at season 1 where, they both kind of know what the other one knows, but neither of them are going to come out and kind of say anything about it. But I also think that's a lot to do with Claire as a character anyway. I think she's, very...
You know what? I think they hit the nail on the head when they had Doyle call her Nancy Drew, because that's all she's ever done this whole entire series. Is snoop around and be a pain in everybody's butt.
But, she sees that there's something weird about him, and it's her trying to figure out what happened. Nancy Drewing it, basically. Last week, a couple of episodes, we had the Petrelli boys / the Hardy boys. So now we've got Nancy Barbie, I guess is the only way we can really put it. But, she kind of sees through his act, but at the same time, she's not like condemning him as like a bad guy entirely. She just kind of wants to know before she makes any decisions about what she's going to do about for the rest of her life, whether or not she's going to join this carnival or not. And she can obviously see why people gravitate towards the place, like Doyle and even Lydia to like a certain degree. It's a home for them, it's somewhere where they, like you said, they won't be judged for like having powers. Yeah.
In all honesty, I was expecting Claire to drink the Kool-Aid because she's Nathan's daughter.
Yes.
And when she didn't, I go, that's not Nathan's daughter. Sorry to break it to you, honey. Meredith lied to you, baby boy.
Is this the one where the guy actually turns the desert into grass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He shows Claire because she wants to know what's going on out there, and he starts explaining it. And then he goes, if you want to go, you can go, but know that you always have a home here. And I'm like, oh, I don't think so. By the end of the series, I don't think so, sir.
Yeah, but it is it's Samuel doing what he does best. He's twisting words, he's like the male version of Angela Petrelli, just manipulating. It seems at this point that Samuel kind of wants to make a home, but as we do find out later on, it's not really for his family's benefit. It's for his own benefit. But yeah, what did you think about this Doyle being a good man now? Well, all the while,
well, he's not good. Yeah. I mean, in the instance that he says that he's good, he shows her that he's not.
Yeah, I think it's
just like, ugh.
I think it's also kind of interesting how Doyle mentions that it's Joseph the one who invited him into the carnival, and Samuel
didn't want him. I was just like, that should be a clue.
Yeah.
Here's your sign.
And now here he is, like being essentially the third henchman to Samuel at this point. So yeah, and that's basically what I have to say about that.
Well, no, Nathan's funeral. It's like, okay, Claire, like, as soon as she's done with Samuel, she checks her phone. She's got a message from HRG and Peter. And then, like, we see her show up at the funeral in a taxi. And I'm just like, just in the nick of time.
Yeah.
And everybody's there, including Nathan's kids.
Oh, man. Is Heidi there, like, or do you not never see her face?
I thought I saw her, but then that could just be my mind wanting to put her there.
Because I know in the next episode you see someone walking away with the kids, but her black hair's covering her face, like she's walking off to the side, so you can't really tell if it's her. But then again, they didn't really, I guess why would they do that instead of just like having her say a random line or whatnot? But yeah. And then Claire, obviously can't let it lie. So, her and... It's been, one episode since her and Daddy have had any arguments, so why not carry it on at her real...
Well, she has every right to be mad at this point.
But, yeah, I suppose.
I can't believe that's all that happened in this episode. This episode dragged on and on and on. Like, seriously, I was live tweeting and I had to, like, pinch myself awake a couple of times.
I kind of like the episode just because it's it's a Samuel-centric episode and he's the like kind of glue in this episode, and it's always nice to see the Knep working his magic on screen. Yeah, that's what I call him. He's my mate. No, I'm joking. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh God, I feel bad for Kimiko. Real talk. Like she has an idiot soon-to-be husband and an idiot little brother. That just traipse around the U.S.
while she's running a multinational company. And then in Heroes Reborn, Hero just takes his job a bit more serious, and he's the one who's kind of running it at that point, right? That's what all the...
I thought she was dead. I thought she got a power and they killed her. That's what I figured. That's the only way Hero was running the company.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's all that happened. So we can just get to the review.
Oh, that's
no
quick.
need to pussyfoot around here.
What are you going to do for your favourite character? I think there's only one person we got to say for our favourite character.
Samuel.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, still in the show. Shows up in the first season, the last season, and he's just consistently been a really good character until his motivation revelation. So that kills it for him.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I don't know if it's Robert Nepper just dealing with the lines that he's given. Like, even though, the accent's a bit all over the place, you kind of forgive it because, it's him and he's awesome. So yeah. What about character interactions? Who would you go for?
I'm gonna go with Samuel, Emma, and Samuel and the flower guy, Ian Michaels. And I'm like, Ian Michael Black? Was that a reference? Yeah, those are my two favorite character interactions. What about you?
I'm gonna go with Samuel and Claire because it feels so much like season 1 HRG and Claire. It's they don't know at this point, like they didn't know until the very end that the show wasn't coming back, but they do a lot of like nice little harkbacks to season 1, and this feels like a really nice one as well. So yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay. What about us? What was your favorite scene?
It's got to be that one where Ian Michael Black makes the forest, or he gets the ground and he makes like the little Eden for Samuel. How about you?
I'm gonna go with Nathan's funeral. I liked it. I thought it was well done.
Fair enough. So, how about the grade?
No, you're not skipping over lines.
Go on then. What's your favorite line?
Let's see. The ramen vendor dude. He's like, no sidekick, noodles. And then also defeat the dark side. We will Hero to. He says that to Kimiko. So.
I'm probably gonna go with Peter's like little eulogy to Nathan. I'm not gonna go through it because it's a lot. Oh, actually, I'll go through a bit of it. He just, he talks about his brother teaching him a lot how to skateboard as a kid, hook a marlin, catch a baseball, and he goes into why Nathan was more of a father figure than his own father, and how he never made it easy for Peter.
You were just thinking of that picture the whole damn time, weren't you?
I know, right? Oh, You will
Once
see.
you see it, it can't be unseen.
So yeah, basically that. So yes, now we will move on to the grade. What is your grade for this episode?
As much as I like the little moments in the cinematography and the directorial aesthetic and everything, still the substance of the content was lacking, and I'm just gonna go with a C plus.
Oh, I was just gonna go with a C. You know, I don't know why. It's just it's average at best. What happens in the episode is it's not really well. It seems like filler at this point, but like in the context of the whole show, it kind of makes sense. And yeah, but at the same time, nothing much really does happen.
It's just like get on with it
Yeah,
already. Like this episode, like I said, it dragged on, and
yeah,
that like your duty as a TV show, if you're not going to be informative, is to be entertaining. And if you can't get that right,
yes. So yeah, that's basically it. The only bits of trivia I have are, there's loads of popular culture references from Batman to Battlestar, Star Wars, Spider-Man, Batman, King Arthur, sorry, Star Trek, Sherlock Holmes, and for some reason, like a lot of Don Quixote. So yeah.
also, I think I had a bad feeling about this episode the first time I saw it because it is a religious reference to biblical scripture. So I was just like, oh, here we go. And the little Garden of Eden thing, it was just like all these really
Yeah.
weird religious illusions. And I'm
Oh.
just like, not here for it.
Oh, I never even spotted that Garden of Eden thing. Even though I did say, he makes his little Garden of Eden. Sorry, I'm just looking through the Heroes Wiki because I saw Monty Petrelli's name, and I was like, you bloody legend.
Clap, clap, clap for
clap,
them.
clap for me, boy. Oh no, that sounds really weird. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Hashtag Doyle.
Moving swiftly on, we're going to move on to the two-part comic book or graphic novel called Bloodlines, and it's Bloodlines Part 1 and Bloodlines Part 2, it's not much.
They were really trying it at this point with this stuff, weren't they?
Yeah, definitely. So, it's set in the past, and it's Joseph kind of chastising Eli for something, and Eli basically saying it's Samuel's idea, which ends up in Eli being banished. Joseph goes to Arnold for advice about, having to watch his brother all the time. And Arnold at this point is like a relatively young man. He asks Arnold to go back in time to 1961 to try and, look out for stuff that happens. And he takes Samuel to Lydia to try and get help for Samuel. And it ends with Arnold being It ends up with Arnold, Arnold getting knocked on the head and he's taken out in the past. So yes, that moves into...
That's what you get for being a racist jerk.
That moves into Bloodlines Part 2, where Arnold is in the past and he has amnesia. So that's why he starts working at the Coyote Sands diner. In the future, the carnival, well, not the carnival, Joseph is kind of worried because usually, he'd be back by now. And, they decide that they're going to move the carnival over to the States, even though that there's this witch hunt by the government going on. So that kind of dates where the graphic novel is. And he says basically it's because, we leave no family behind. They end up going to Coyote Sands, seeing Arnold, who is now an old man. And they basically come back and not give him his memory back, but he remembers them and his memory comes back. And then we realise that this is the time where Joseph has kind of made a deal with Danko to try and take away Samuel. And then we find out that Samuel is the one who killed Arnold when he died. So yes.
Yep. So these two issues were written by Zach Crayley, and the art was by Sia Olam. The first Easter egg was a behind-the-scenes image of Dawn Olivery, a.k.a. Lydia's tattoos being applied. And then the second Easter egg is a behind-the-scenes image of Julika Ivanek and Ray Park, a.k.a. Danko and Edgar, or Eli.
Edgar, yeah.
So many E's to keep straight.
So the following people joined in the live tweets. They were either tweeting, retweeting, or faving. We have Heroes Reborn _ Pingu112, Paraceline, English Idiot 101, Demetria Mills, and NW Slayton. Thank you very much.
Looks like it's time for some shameless plugs and self-promotion. We'll start with the show contact info. We here at Primatech Files love listener feedback. If you would like to get a hold of us, we have a ton of ways. You can email us via primatechfiles@gmail.com. You can leave us a private message or interact with our posts over on facebook.com/primatechfiles. We live tweet 2 episodes per week every Saturday starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For more information, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Primatech Files. You can also find us on Clamor, Tumblr, and YouTube by simply searching for Primatech Files. If you enjoy this podcast, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes. What's that? You don't have an iTunes account? That's okay. We're on a lot of podcatcher services such as Stitcher and SoundCloud. All you have to do is search for, you guessed it, Primatech Files. We're also on Libsyn. And if you want to follow our RSS feed there, all you have to do is go to primatechfiles.libsyn.com and bookmark the site to stay up to date with this podcast. Libsyn is spelled Libsyn, just in case you were wondering. We look forward to interacting with you.
If you love our podcast, be sure to check out Southgate Media Group's iTunes provider page to see a list of what other podcasts are hot and trending in our network. Or you can take that one step further and visit southgatemediagroup.com, where you can find a full list of our 80-plus podcasts, along with weekly blogs and information about all the hosts. With so many podcasts that cover everything from anime to wrestling, there's sure to be tons of podcasts that can interest you.
Hey guys, you should know by now that you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire. If you have a Tumblr, be sure to check out it's lilithhellfire.tumblr.com. And of course, be sure to swing by my blog if you are a pop culture junkie or comic book geek at littlepopculturevulture.blogspot.com. I also host several other podcasts on the Southgate Media Group network. Some of them are The Flashpoint, Queen Consolidated, and Channel 52. So if you are into, obviously, DC comic book related stuff, be sure to check it out.
You can find my writings at tvbinges.com. It's a place for all your binge watching needs, and you can also create your own TV binge and we'll help promote it. We do a monthly binge watch, which you're more than welcome to join in. Just go to their Twitter at tvbinges just to find out more information. You can find me on Twitter at RickyJDiaz. That's RickyJDiaz, or Z if you're American.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of Primatech Files, where we discussed episode 412, Upon This Rock. We hope you found it entertaining and informative and appreciate the speed in which we dispatched it.
Download the podcast, save the world.